Hey guys, welcome to our Tavern Tales. A lot has happened in this past episode, but I think we should really kick off with the big one, and it's why we're all feeling this sadness. We lost a dear friend to an unspeakable and un something that we never thought we would experience. Our dear friend Clavicus Kyle is with us no longer. Carter, how are you feeling?
I'm still processing a lot of what's happened. Uh, Currently, there's a lot of anger and resentment, probably towards myself, because as that boss was coming for us, I was trying to get out of the way, which opened the door for Clavicus to die. I'm angry at others for not healing. I'm angry at our team for not trying to work together quicker and earlier. I'm angry at the gods now for a lot of different reasons. So there's a lot to process and a lot of anger, but there's also sadness over the loss of a friend and how we move on past there. So a lot of processing.
Yeah, I feel that too, especially because I made a choice that I definitely regret in not going and trying to heal him sooner. Um, I thought that he was going to be okay and be able to handle where he was, and then um, everything happened so quickly. uh and it's one thing to be in the moment, but then to look back and think I could have prevented this, or I could have tried to help in this situation. And I definitely have that personal regret that I didn't act quicker, or I didn't make that decision that could have helped keep him. There's no telling, it might not have changed anything. He still might have met his fate, but knowing the part that I wasn't able to help, and just feeling this helplessness and knowing that I could have been um a part of it, it really, it does, it hurts. It's a lot of uh a lot of grief that I think our whole group will end up feeling.
So how does someone like Drogos handle grief?
Yeah, I think Drogos is one that kind of internalizes it. I think Drogos sees himself as um, someone who tries to keep the group together, or a shoulder for others to lean on. So I think Drogos is one who will end up handling his grief kind of privately, when he does have a moment where he's alone and he can express that frustration and that anger. But I think when it comes to the grief, Drogo, or comes to the group, you'll see Drogos as one who is checking on everyone else to see how they're doing, and trying to help others through their pain. What about Carter? What can we expect from Carter when it comes to his grief?
I think his natural reaction is going to be to pull away, and maybe distance himself a little bit from the situation. But I also think he's learned a bit from past scenarios where he's going to realize he shouldn't. But he also doesn't want to become like a whiny child. He wants to do the right thing. And part of him with that anger, he wants revenge. So with the gods, before all this, it was just a passing, oh, that's so silly, that's a stupid thing to believe in. But now a god creature has actually impacted him on a personal level. So I think he's going to want to light a fire under that desire to maybe not let there be a lot of gods in the future. That's kind of a silly thing for me to say right now, but that's where he's at. So,
Yeah, I
go ahead.
think we'll all definitely miss the energy and the laughter and the music that our dear Clavicus brought to the group.
I won't miss the music.
Look, the music might not have been the best, but it did bring it brought spirits to the group. It was a chance for us to laugh and have a good time, even if it wasn't even if he wasn't the musician of our times.
I'm mainly concerned right now about that the poor DB of it all. What's going to happen to DB?
Yeah, well, I'm sure DB will be well taken care of among all of our paladin brethren. As he's been with him now. I feel like longer than Clavicus actually had him.
That's a neglectful parent.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, as long as there's enough brothers and sisters for him and people to play and give him lots of milk, I think DB will be well taken care of.
And so I think it ended on a kind of a bittersweet note with the actual. Um, we all got a chance to do something that was hopefully meaningful. And we definitely didn't just leave him where he fell. Wanted to closure on it. But I'm still somewhat hopeful that we'll see Clavicus at some point somewhere down the road. Don't know how, where, when, maybe somewhere.
I really would love to hear like what Clavicus thought of the funeral and what we did to see if he really thinks it's enough.
So, Clavicus, what's dying like?
Well, I just want to say at first it was like, oh, it's so sweet how you got to the funeral, but now you're a bunch of dicks for talking about how bad his music was. But no, it was it was it was definitely interesting. The fact that we went into this fight going like, yeah, it's some fish people. Yeah, they could summon a god. And I think we were kind of wary, but I don't think any of us were like, we could die. I definitely was like, whatever, like, we're not gonna die. We can't die. And when it happened, I mean, it just everything just fell in place for that situation to happen. I went down. He hit me. He got two attacks. He hit me the first time down me. Second attack was a natural crit, which is two death fails immediately. And then it just so happened to be my turn next. And I knew, like, I just had this gut feeling when I saw that. I'm like, I'm gonna die right here. Like, I'm dead. Like, this is gonna be a bad roll. Like, I just knew it. And I rolled and I saw that three, and I was like, that's it. I'm out. Clavicus is dead. And I knew immediately, like, no one in our group had any like resurrection spells or anything. Like, I just knew, like, this is it. Like, there's nothing that can be done in this situation. Um, but I was pretty happy with the end results. The funeral for Clavicus Kyle. I felt like it very much matched the group. I felt like it was, it was very simple, but also very somber, and it was the best y'all could do, which I think is the moral of the group is the best we can do. Um, and, as a player, as Clavicus Kyle, like I said, there's some regrets. Clavicus Kyle has some regrets in his death. He knows he has a sibling out there somewhere that's involved with all Severn stuff that he now will never know why they never came to look for him, why they're involved. And but at the same time, I think the fact that again there was a funeral for him, people actually cared enough to bury him and to give him respects, um, definitely gave him some rest in the afterlife. Um, but again, as a player, I'm pretty excited. I like that these things, and especially when they're not planned and it's random and you don't expect it, definitely builds character. It builds the story on, and so I cannot wait to see where this continues on for the story, what this means for the characters. I also can't wait to play my new character. That's always the great thing. I love at least is to make these characters and see them come to life. So I've been working on something. I'm pretty excited for it. Hopefully we'll see it next session. I don't know. We'll see. I know there's a lot going on. I know at the end of it, you guys rested for the night and you have to move on to the town where you're taking the gem that Clavicus Kyle wanted so bad just to prove a point he can get. At first, he was joking, but then when you were like, "No, you can't have him, I hide it," he's like, "Oh no, I gotta get it. Now I gotta prove I can find this gem."
Yeah, Drogo's definitely made a point to make sure Clavicus did not end up with that gem,
Yeah,
including hiding it in some questionable places.
yeah. Clavicus Kyle definitely was not going to search Drogo's as person. I don't think Clavicus Kyle would expect that. I know I
Mhm.
wouldn't. I'm like, nah, he wouldn't hide it anymore. It's in the bag somewhere. Um, but yeah, I think this was a good episode, and I know there's a lot of combat, but honestly, it was a lot of combat, but a lot happened to the moral. And so early too. Like we're only level 4. We're just about to hit level 5. We're only level 4, and already we had a character death. Like that's so wild to me. It was again, it was just a random fish god. Again, it's a god, but still, it's a fish god. But we'll just say, for Clavicus' sake, we'll just keep the god part in there. But
I think it's one of those things too where we've had so many chances to die and we haven't,
mhm,
that we kind of, like you said, we came in kind of invincible. Like there's no way we can
mhm.
die. Like we haven't died yet.
Yeah,
So
yeah, exactly. I think from what Carter said, we all just didn't we didn't expect that we could die, and that we weren't prepared. Like our group was very mismatched. We really don't have a support. Um, so we'll see how the group changes to fit that dynamic now that we know. Oh, hey, we can die. People in this group can die. So we'll see.
Carter can't die.
Carter's invincible. That's Carter's secret.
He is a god.
God Plant Carter. All hell God Plant Carter.
Indeed.
uh Carter doesn't trust gods, but he's a god himself.
Mhm.
I'm very jealous. All
uh
right, everybody. So it's about that time. Clavicus, any last words?
Only that Clavicus will miss having fun, but then again, I'm excited to see where the story goes. I'm excited to see where this continues to. So,
Keep that flame burning. So until next time, we'll see you next time on Crit Force 1. Say goodbye and good night.
good night, guys.
Night,
See you
y'all.
Wednesday.
All through it all, it's a family. But can they stop evil from spreading? Soldiering on in sorrow and fun. And this is Crit Force 1.